short answer, no.
Okay, well, that's not a problem. Thank you. My other question was, just in your words, can you just say what you liked most about the players and the squad and everything you've constructed so far? What have been the big takeaways in a good way for you?
I think it's a good group of players that I think working very hard. I want to improve, and you can say, for example, we focused on a lot of things. Some of the said that before. Some of the I can say maybe a little bit low-hanging fruits that we thought that we could improve relatively quick were the set pieces, which they really bought into. So I think we've been very competitive there, defensively and offensively. On set pieces, I think in most games we looked very solid and difficult to break down. And that's solid and difficult breakdown seems like where you have a low block. No, we go very high in the pressure and go man. And the best example, of course, is let's say 60 minutes against PSG, and of course the City game. So I like that a lot. So I think that's the positive ones, very positive ones. And then the bit we need to develop, you said, is the more offensive part of the game, and that's not only focus, which could be very simple when I name the set pieces and the defensive side of the game. That's also a little bit down to maybe some key players not being in the right positions.
Tom.
Hi, Thomas. Just to go back to saying how it's really important to get the right people aligned together. Are you talking more about the squad there in terms of player personalities, or more around the club in kind of more industry position?
For me, that was more around the club. I think the players are, of course, that also need to be aligned and culture and all that. So I think it is everything, but it is everything. I haven't thought about that when you actually asked the question there. But of course, no, yeah, I think in terms of players in the squad, of course, it's constantly adding layers in how we play. And for example, one thing we spoke about is how do we handle setbacks. So it's clearly not only this season that the team struggled a little bit with that. So that's definitely not something we do with. So how can we align that? How do we react to a setback in a game if you lose the balls 5 times in a row? To throw our arms in the air, or do you just get hit down and help your teammate, as an example? And then if you have a default in doing that, when you're under pressure, it takes a little bit more time just to change that, as an example. Then off the pitch, of course, it's super important to be aligned. Me, coaches, sports directors, leaders, owners, all that, and which we are, I would say.
I was going to say, do you feel like the right people are in place now, or
Yeah.
still to be evolved?
No, I think the right people are in place.
With regards to the January transfer window, I guess, because big part of that is recruitment. We've heard a lot about how the new leadership's going to do that sporting success. With that in mind, are you kind of expecting a fairly sort of positive January transfer window that way?
As I said, we will 100% be in the market, and we will be ready. And if we can find the player or players that can improve the team, then I think we should be ready for that. If we can't, which we know January window is a super, super complex and very difficult window, which can make it complicated. So we don't want to buy. I don't think we should use money on a player we don't really believe in. That just really can move the needle, because would that be a little bit helpful for maybe the next 6 months, but if it doesn't do anything on the long term, then I'm not interested in it. For me, we need to think, of course, now we need to win tomorrow, or do our best to win tomorrow, and win enough football matches, all that. But we need to take a good decision for the long term. If we don't do that, there's no time. There's no chance that we can fulfill the potential of this club.
And just you spoke a lot about mentality of the team. Is that the kind of player you want to bring in now? So leaders, experience, that kind of profile.
But yeah, experience can be many things. So you can be a great character leader, 24 years old, or you can be 28 or whatever. So, but I think you need a lot of different types in a football team. But of course, character is a big thing.
Elias.
You mentioned quick fix now obviously a few times. Is quick fix is that a football thing, or are there things around kind of environment, culture,
Yeah, but I just think if you. So what is the potential of Tottenham? That is, we like to win trophies, and we like to compete with the best clubs in the country, and hopefully win the championship one day. That I think that's what all Spurs fans are dreaming about. That's what I'm dreaming about. But how do we get there? Reality, if we finished eighth with Champions League, then we finished fifth with no European contest. Then we finished 17th with Europa League, and now we're in the fourth season. And then there's been some players through the systems and so on. So that's the reality. That's why. And then we have very clever people in the room thinking about football and asking good questions. And then if you don't win enough football matches, there's a little bit of scrutiny. That's part of it. I just know this is this will just take a little bit of time to where we want to be. Of course, we need to win enough games, and of course, it doesn't help that we played a bad game against Forest. That doesn't help. So we just need to do what we believe in, do the right thing, keep going.
And culture has been mentioned around as well.
Who mentioned that?
I think generally, I think
Yeah.
you've been mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
What kind of are you seeing from a culture perspective that you like at this club and perhaps could be even better?
No, but I see a lot of people, and that is players, staff, a lot of cares about this club. They want the best for this club, and I think that's a top thing. How do we then move from cares and be happy to make it a lead mindset consistently every single day? That is small bits, good habits every day.
And obviously last week you mentioned about perhaps looking back at the Spence incident when he came on as a substitute. Have you looked back on that and I suppose had a conversation with the
Yeah,
players?
yeah, I spoke to him. Uh, he was disappointed because he thought because of an injury he was subbed off, and it wasn't. Or that we thought he had an injury because he had a dead leg, and he's fine, by the way. Yeah.
Matt.
Just to follow on firstly from that, has Chet got to improve his behaviour slightly? Can he keep showing displeasure?
I think he's been highlighted twice, which of course is never perfect because then we need to use time on it here in the press conference. So it's perfect. It's best if he hasn't. It's two situations where he's very aware of. It didn't look the best, and we are dealing with young people. I would say he's 24, 25 years old, and under how can you say, big focus and pressure, and sometimes you don't do exactly what is the perfect way, and you learn from it, and should learn from it, and do it better in the future.
On goalkeeper, Vicario, do you think he's a top goalkeeper?
I think he's a very good goalkeeper. I think he's a fantastic shot stopper. I think he's saved us a lot of times this season where we needed the most. Then, like with any goalkeeper, there's a few development areas or any player that we need to do our best we can to improve.
Are you able to say what they are?
Yeah, I think he had a good level in distribution, but I think it's the level he could work on and get even better at. But that's something we're working on.
And just finally on him, I've actually looked at his data for this season is better than his previous two seasons at Tottenham, which slightly surprised me because the narrative around him, because of a couple of mistakes, is that he's probably not having a great season.
Yeah.
Do you see more than maybe we see with him? Can you see that he's actually maybe performing better than the narrative around him?
Yeah, but also I think you can say there was. I think every keeper will always be highlighted that that was problem. I've experienced that with David Raya when he was with Brentford in the beginning with some crosses or some distribution where he was involved in something and we worked on it, become better, and then he was sold to a club we can't name, and then Mark Flecken when he came to us in Brentford, the first 6 months also took a little bit of time, but developed over time. So which is natural, and I think Vic, some of the key areas, Fabian, the goalkeeper coach, and I identified from the beginning. I think he worked very hard on it, and I think he showed some excellent things in terms of shot stopping.
Tom.
Since you spoke to Forest, very calm and measured. I asked you a question about that. You said you're feeling
would say I don't like when I'm irritated because I don't think it's a good feeling to have. But it's probably good when I'm irritated because then there's how can you say more focus on. There's always focus to improve and always focus to high standards, all that. But probably when we need to bounce back or we need to do something more, you need to have an extra edge, and that's definitely been this week. I think they train well. They've been good overall. The players are not stupid. They want to do well. They want to perform well. They I don't think there's any of those players that think it's super tough, nice to be in that dressing room after losing 3-0 in a game where we didn't do well. So they just on a personal, professional pride, they want to do better. And then it's up to me to make sure we are coming up together with the players flying tomorrow. Overall, happy with Brennan. He trained well today. I think we mentioned before that he has played some very good games on the right, and Good has come in, so that's been a little bit of a bigger competition there. Not that he can't play to the left. In general, I'm happy with Brennan. We haven't, how can you say, done too much in terms of players out, and I think he's a big part of what we have, and we're playing a lot of games. Yeah, I think he's playing a lot of games, so I think it's important to have enough to shoot with. I think that is very important that we aim high, and I think it's very important that we go into every game and do everything we can to win it. But I also think to think 22 or whatever, I can't remember, 22, 23, I don't know, a lot of games ahead in the Premier League. That is too far away. My first and foremost focus is that we bounce back and come up with a good performance against Liverpool, and then we take it bit by bit. So I think there's not too far up. Big belief that we can improve and be even better, and we will always aim to be. That will always be the aim. That will always be the aim. Yeah, of course. I think that's been that's the aim the whole time. And of course, we have one game now. Then I think we have 8 days, and then we play 5 games in 13 days. Something like quite hectic. So it's about how we manage that, of course. Welcome.
Would you understand if Brennan wanted to move?
I will not speak about Brennan, but I think any player that maybe not play all the time will probably always have a thought about that. But we need more than 11 players.
You have, hopefully you have Kulusevski coming back who wants to play that side as well.
Yeah, of course. That's definitely the plan. But right now I think we've shown that we need players, and as I said, I'm happy with Brennan. I'm happy with everyone in the squad. It's just I can only play 11, unfortunately.
I know there were confidences that you were going to break, but has he expressed his frustration at not playing more this season? He had such a good season for goals last season. He scored an important goal in the final. It feels like he can't get past Kulusevski coming back in. Have you had to say anything to him? Has he said anything about?
No, not say anything. Just training well. I think he had a spell for quite a while. He trained well, and today he trained very well today again.
Is there any intention of bringing Mikey Moore back? Is there an option?
That's a good question. I think for Mikey Moore, I think it's very important for him to play minutes. I think that's very important.
And someone like, for
we definitely look into the squad, of course, who should maybe go out to play minutes and who do we need to keep, and how do we make sure the squad is big enough. Talking about the, let's say, the Brennan, whatever cases, or others also need to not to have too many players, so there's a fine balance.
Can I ask you just one on Liverpool? The whole Mo Salah storm, has it galvanised them in a strange way? And is that the sort of thing you're talking about when you're talking about culture and dealing with setbacks?
It's a situation, of course, only seen from the outside, and it's not really to me to speak about what it's done to the squad of Liverpool, of galvanized them. I don't know that. It's a team and a squad that's been together for quite a while, with also refreshing a few players 2 or 3 years ago. So I think they have had a good group together that's been fantastic over the last 6 years, something like that. So that says a lot.
Finish with Ryan, please.
Hi Thomas, is there any concern in terms of if you look to strengthen the squad in January that players might turn their nose up at maybe coming here if you can't offer regular Champions League football?
Say again, sorry.
Probably poorly worded.
Yeah.
In terms of players that you might look to bring in to strengthen the squad, you
Yeah.
said you want quality.
Yeah.
At the moment, obviously the team is very up and down. Is there
Yeah.
any concern that might impact your ability to sign some of these players, given there's likely going to be vast competition?
Yeah, but there will be big competition, no matter if it's Champions League, there's the Marca Europa League, or whatever it is. There is just big competition. There's probably 8 clubs or something like that is competing for the same players. There's some clubs that's probably a bit of hit more consistent. We talked about that. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, maybe also Chelsea, unfortunately. So that of course is a challenge. But hey, it's a challenge every year. They will compete about players.
And just lastly, just a quick one on Sarr. I assume he's now gone to Afcon, so I've seen Habib Diarra from Sunderland looks set to be involved tomorrow, even though he's in the Senegal squad.
Okay, yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone to Afcon. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank guys.